All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp coming back to you. What I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And I saw this, another brother had did a video on this, and I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on it. But it's a video that's very concerning. Uh, you know, in the sense that what you're about to see, this was uh, it was a man being violated by another man. And when I saw this video, many things came to mind. The fact that this was a man who did it to another man, that's horrible. In broad daylight. Another thing I thought about was, if this is a man that did this to another man, how much more vicious will this be when it's a woman? How much more vicious will this be when there's absolutely no police? You know, I thought of a whole lot of things, but those were just some that came to mind. And, you know, it's one of those things where before I did this sit down, I was watching a video with Apostle Gabar, and he said it was I forgot what it was entitled. I think it was one of the most important things you can do in this truth. I think that's what it was titled, and he was talking about prayer, and he was saying specifically praying before you leave your home. Okay, he used the word crib, but we all know what that means. But praying before you leave the house. And he was saying the reason why that is so important is because you need protection when you go out, because these niggas are crazy. They are terribly unhinged. They got all these demons on them. All right, they all bugged out off these psych meds, off these street drugs that God knows what's in them. You know, and he said it is very important that you pray, because when you pray before you leave the house, hey man, you just got this, you got protection over you. And see, uh, and without that protection, you're gonna be at the mercy of anything. And this is why the scripture tells us, and I get this a lot in my sit downs. It's one of my favorite scriptures. Ecclesiastes 36, sometimes referred to as Sirach 36 and 25. And it says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And a hedge is a object of protection, a thing of protection. Okay, and who is our protection? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, the scripture tells us that I think it's in Psalm I think it might be Psalm 1 something. I can't think. 1. Oh, yeah. Psalm 57 and 1. It says, let's see. Yep, Psalm 57 and 1. It says, to the chief musician Al Tashith Mishtam of David, when he fled from Saul in the cave, It says, "Be merciful unto me, O power, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed." Right. This is what we need to happen for us. This is what we need to happen for us. Okay, that the Lord hides us, that he protects us when we go out on our daily routines, whether it be to go to work, go to the store, go work out, pick up the children, whatever the case may be. We always need to pray for the Lord to protect us, because as the Apostle Gabar said, these sick niggas are out here. All right. Apostle Ricard, he's done many videos on the importance and power of prayer. We must never forget that we have to pray, because as Ephesians 5:15 states, and I've been getting this a lot in my sit downs too. 5 starting at 15, it says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." And what you're about to see in this video is a man who just beat the brakes off another man and violates him. So it's a short video. We're going to let it play and get some more scripture.
Bingo. I got action.
By the way, fair use, fair use. All right. I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion receiving any type of financial or monetary gain or compensation for this video. It's strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. I totally forgot they got that scene from Friday in there, so I gotta say that, fair use, under the Copyright Act. But yeah. That's a grown man violating another man. He beat the brakes off of him. Okay? He beat the brakes off of him and started dry humping him. And you got a lot of freaks out there like this. Okay? I got a good friend of mine, I won't say his name, but and I won't say what city he works in, but he's in the health industry, okay? And he said one day he just so happened to see a video of a drunk homeless man passed out on the upstairs platform of the train station. He passed out on the top, not too far from the escalator. All right. The guy most likely was drunk. And as most drunk guys do, when they got to go piss, they pull their pants down, they pee, but then they pass out and don't pull their pants up. So he was saying that you got this bum. He was a Jake too. He was drunk, passed out, pants down below his butt. He said, as this Jake was passed out with his pants down, some so-called normal, average, everyday looking citizen came up the escalator, just so happened to see this Jake passed out on the ground. So he said what this guy did is that he looked around, made sure that nobody was watching, stood over the guy, and put his finger in his booty hole. And he was this, whoever this citizen was, he had his finger in his booty hole and he was just twirling it around. And then when he really shoved his finger in the guy's butt, that's when the homeless dude woke up. And when he woke up, the guy just took off running. Now, I've known this guy for quite some time. He's a creative guy. He has an imagination. But the stories he's told me, he can't make that shit up. All right? A homeless man, drunk, passed out on the ground with his pants around his ankles, gets violated by a guy that you would never expect to do such a thing. Because he said the guy just looked like somebody, the average person on the street that you would see. Pants, jacket, maybe like a book bag or a case or something, completely violated that man. Just like this man got violated here. As the scripture tells us in Matthew, we are in a time where the love of many is waxed cold. Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. This is the day and age that we are in. And you have to have the Lord watching your back. You have to pray. You have to fast. You have to do whatever it takes. These folks are out here. These are, as the scripture says, those spirits of vengeance. Ecclesiastes 39:28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. All right, as you saw in the video, that man was a spirit of vengeance that's a very perverse, an extremely perverse spirit of vengeance that was put on that man. He whooped another able-bodied grown man. He whooped his ass and then dry humped his ass. And this is all being done in the green tree. How much more when things really get bad? Because there's going to be gangs of guys like this out here. There's going to be a whole bunch of perverse guys like this out here. And it's going to be of the utmost importance, okay, that you be right with the Lord and you have the protection of the Lord. As spoken of in Psalm 1, it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor seateth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doth shall prosper. Okay, so if you're in this word, the Lord is going to make sure that whatever you do is prosperous, even if it's just something as simple as going about your daily routine. I mean, I know this speaks of being firmly planted and prosperous in the truth, but we all know that being firmly planted in this truth, all right, another prosperous thing is having the protection of the Lord. Like I said, even if it's for something as simple as your daily routine, the Lord will make sure that once you leave your house, okay, the Lord will make sure you come back home the same way you left. Because there's a lot of jacked up stuff, man. This was one video. I was hesitant on if I should put multiple videos or just do this one, but the Spirit just said just do this one. I saw one where supposedly some 11-year-old was driving in a car, ran over 8 monks. Some guy was in an apartment complex, didn't like a person, and start torching their door to burn the door down. You got a lot of bizarre things and bizarre people in this world right now. So, you Akim, you Akwath, especially, those that have, families, young children, make sure that you stay circumspect, make sure you pray. All right. It's very important that you pray. Because the way these days are becoming, at the rate these days are, how should I put this? The way these days are sinking into more depravity and evil, we need the protection of the Lord now more so now than any point in history. So that's all I wanted to say on this. Hope you all were edified. To the next time, we're going to say shalom.